What is up, everybody out there? We're going to go ahead and start Coffee with Hondo. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. We're just going to have a little bit of fun, talk about a few topics that maybe I want to talk about, and then also spend some time answering any questions or talking about any topics that you may have. So let's get this started. Welcome. Get your cup of coffee. I love caffeine. I love caffeine. It is so good. There's no better delivery system than good old-fashioned coffee. Ball. Let's see. Thought we'd talk a little bit about football right now. Got to talk about some football. We see that the Raiders unbelievably got a win. The Raiders won. Some big deal there. The Raiders won. I can't believe the Raiders actually won. Of course, they were playing the Ravens, but, you know, they won. Which is pretty cool. If you're a Raiders fan. Which I am not. Big news coming out of the Cowboys. Tony Romo broke his collarbone. So he's going to be out for a couple of months. I don't think it's a season ender, but he definitely will not be back for quite some time, which is pretty cool if you're not a Cowboys fan. Unfortunate for Tony Romo. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I really don't like the Cowboys, so I'm kind of glad he's not playing. So I think that's kind of a backhanded compliment for him. Backhanded compliment. They beat the Eagles even without Tony Romo. Which is no surprise. Eagles, for some reason, after the whole, I don't know, the Michael Vick thing, yeah, you know, it's just not been so good. Just not been so good. Which is kind of surprising because the Eagles have always been kind of a decent team. Never really like a powerhouse, but a decent team. They always got quality football out of them. So the Jaguars beat the Dolphins. Whoopity-doo. Who cares about the Dolphins? Whoopity-doo. The Seahawks. Now, this one was a little bit rough because I am a Seahawks fan. Lived in Spokane for quite a while. My son Seth is a Seahawks nut. He doesn't know that they lost yet. We recorded the video last night, or on our DVR. We recorded the game last night because he's a Seahawks fanatic. The kid is just crazy. He was born in Spokane, so I think it's kind of in his I was there. I was born there. I have to be a Seahawks fan. But anyways, yeah, so they lost. It's kind of heartbreaking. I haven't even seen the whole game. Saw most of it. The Packers were doing a pretty decent job of containing Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson. It was kind of a heartbreaking loss. They're going to have to get their act back together. Going to have to work really hard for the rest of the season in order to make it to the playoffs and hopefully back to the Super Bowl again. That would be awesome. And I think it would be a definite smack in the face. Doggone these flies. Smack in the face to all those people who thought, you know, flash in the pan. And then also the smack in the face of what happened last year with that final call in the Super Bowl that was an interception. I heard a comment about it. Let's see. What did it say? It said it was from Pete Carroll. He was basically saying it was not a bad call for the play. It was a bad outcome. And I kind of agree with that. I understand what he was doing and why he was trying to do it, but yeah, it didn't turn out so much to the benefit of those who wanted to see the Seahawks win. But, you know, it is the past. They did go to the Super Bowl. So they were a champion of sorts. You know, their division. Ugh. Oh, these flies are going to kill me. I've gotten 2 of them. I still have to get the other one. So if you see me smack myself across the face, you know what I'm doing. But yeah, they lost to the Packers last night. The Packers look pretty good. I did watch some of the game. They were playing pretty good, tough football. They were able to run pretty well. So it was pretty good. They lost 17-27. Packers win. We got Monday Night Football coming up tonight. We got the Jets versus the Colts. It's going to start at 6:30 p.m. I'm not sure if that's my time or Eastern Coast time. Oh, wait. All times are Mountain Time. So it is my time. So 6:30, that means 4:30 over on the East Coast. Wow. So, yeah, the Jets and the Colts are going to be duking it out. Going to be playing at the Lucas Oil Stadium there in Indianapolis. Home turf for the Colts. Should be a good game. I'm a big Colts fan, too. Hopefully they get rolling this year. I haven't been too impressed thus far. But, you know, it is what it is. Moving on from football. Oh, you know what? I could probably just share that screen with you, see where I'm getting my information. Let me pop that up if it decides to come up. No, is it not going to come up? Here, we'll go to monitor capture. There we go. There we go. There's all my information right there. Getting that off of the Google search. Just Google search football, and there we go. Some other big inf news came up here recently, too. In the news, Carson for president. There we go. There we go. Videos. Let's go to the videos. I don't know if it's going to be up yet. June 29th. That's not it. We'll see if he's in the news. Ooh. Outrage. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. We can watch the video, but maybe I'll just read a little bit to you. I'll go ahead and do the monitor capture on this. It says Ben Carson's campaign pushed back against outrage over his comments regarding Islam, saying there was a huge gulf between the Muslim faith and American values.
I'm Carrie D.
Oh, come on.
I've had modern.
Stop that baloney. Stop that baloney. A national Muslim civil liberties group has called for Carson to withdraw from the race after he told Meet the Press that he would not agree with having a Muslim in the White House. You know what? They can't call it. You know what? That's baloney, because you know what? There's civil liberties right there. That's insane. Why would you ask somebody to pull out of a race because of their beliefs? Isn't that interesting? Civil liberties. A civil liberties group, a Muslim civil liberties group, calling him to withdraw from the race after he told something that was inflammatory and they didn't agree with. What is that all about? What is that all about? That's kind of some shenanigans, if you ask me. Kind of hypocritical, don't you think? Freedom of civil liberties to say what you so please, yet you're calling him to jump out of the campaign because of it. So yeah, National Muslim Civil Liberties Group has called for Carson to withdraw from the race after he told Meet the Press that he would not agree with having a Muslim in the White House. Carson campaign spokesman Doug Watts said Carson will likely reach out to the members of the Muslim community in the wake of the comments, but said the interview should be watched or read carefully. He did not say that a Muslim should be prevented from running or barred from running in any way. Watts said he, Carson, just doesn't believe the American people are ready for that. That's kind of interesting. Ready for what? A Muslim in the White House? Here's the deal. I find it interesting with the whole presidential thing, being president and that kind of stuff, because you kind of have to walk a thin line, because I understand that your faith and where you've been, your background, your culture, that kind of stuff dictates how you view the world and how you see things. Um, I'm gonna sit up a little bit here. I understand that, but if you're going strictly on the political realm of things, you need to be able to set those things aside. But it's kind of hard to, or even if not possible to, because those things create who you are and how you think and see and view the world. So it's an interesting thought about, religious in a religious person in the president, and there's that stinking fly. I got your brothers. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. That's right, you little bugger. Bam! Got him. Got him. These nuts got him. Anyways, so yeah, you have to separate your religion and your faith and your cultural backgrounds and that kind of stuff on how you're going to react and how you're going to conduct yourself in the office anyways. So it's interesting that this is even being brought up. I myself would rather look at the content of somebody's character than what religion they are, and how they're going to react in certain circumstances as president. So let's have a drink of coffee. I'm saying a lot of words here. I I don't know. I think Americans are ready for anything, personally. But let's go on and read a little more. Carson said this Sunday. By the way, this is on the NBC News by Haley Jackson and Phil Helsel. Helsel. This is the one I'm reading. Carson said Sunday in response to an interview question that I would not advocate that we put a Muslim in charge of this nation. Absolutely would not agree with that. When asked if a candidate's faith should matter to voters, see, I was talking that before I even read it. Carson said, I guess it depends on what that faith is. If it's inconsistent with the values and principles of America, then of course it should matter. That's interesting because isn't America the whole melting pot of the world where faith and cultures and people are celebrated and loved, races, creeds, ideals. So it's interesting. What are the values of America? I think that this is a case where, you have to get into a point where checks and balances are in place. The Islamic faith could never take over America. Neither could Catholicism or Christianity or Judaism, Buddhism, that kind of stuff, because it is protected by the Constitution. So if a president were to be placed into office that was a Muslim and he were to try and put Sharia law in place, as per the Constitution, there is a separation of church and state. Therefore, it could not be put into place. He would be breaking the Constitution, and then it would go down. People would not stand for that. The same with a Christian, Judaism, Buddhism, that kind of stuff. If a president got put into place that tried to dictate that to happen, it is protected under the Constitution that we would have the rights to reject that, because that is a separation of church and state issue. So I don't see it as an issue on that part. Now, I could see foreign policy being changed that may be detrimental to other people. So I could really see some issues and some problems there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Okay, here we go. When asked if consistent with the values of America, then of course it should matter. When asked if he thought Islam is consistent with the Constitution, Carson said, "No, I do not," and I agree with that. I don't think that the Islamic law, Sharia law, all those kind of stuffs is consistent with the Constitution because of the freedoms that we do have because of that document. So yeah, it's not consistent in that matter. If a Muslim was in the office, like I said before, though, because of the inconsistency, we do as Americans have protections under that. There's nothing that the president can just automatically turn into law that has to do with a religious aspect that wouldn't be protected through the Constitution, therefore null and void. Well, people would ask then, Hondo, what if a bunch of Muslims took over the Congress and a bunch of Muslims were placed on the Supreme Court? Uh, well, still, the Constitution stands at that. And I will tell you that one thing: if they try and get in there and the Muslim and the Senate and the House of Representative and Congress and the president was Muslim and all the Supreme Court justices were Muslim, uh, America, the people, wouldn't stand for having that take place. So there is still defense under the Constitution on that thing. And one of the reasons why we have the right to bear arms. The Second Amendment is such an important thing because that is in place for the people in order to keep the government in checks and balances. It's all there. It's all part of what we do and how we do things. So that's a pretty big topic. What do you guys think? Be sure to type in your comments. Let's read a little bit more. Dr. Carson is a strict, let's see. Dr. Carson is a strict adherent to the First Amendment freedom of religion. That includes people of all faith, Watts said. He has a great respect for Muslim community, but there's a huge gulf between the faith and practice of Muslims' faith and our Constitution and American values. I will agree with that. That can be disputed, Watts continued. That can be debated, but there's pretty strong evidence to that effect. I agree with that. The Council of American Islamic Relations on Sunday called for Carson to withdraw from the race. Once again, what a hypocritical thing to say. They're calling for him to withdraw from the race because of what he believes and how he sees, but they don't have to step aside because of what they believe. It's kind of shenanigans if you really think about it. A little bit of a double standard, if you will. But it's kind of crazy. Let's see. Mr. Carson clearly does not understand or care about the Constitution. Baloney, he's using the Constitution right there, which states that no religious test shall ever be required to qualify for any office. I agree with that part. But it does not mean he does not hold those or cannot have the freedom to hold those views. The group's national executive director, Nahad Awad, said in a statement. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders said in a statement Sunday that I am very disappointed that Dr. Carson would suggest that a Muslim should not become president of the United States. It took us too long to overcome the presidency against electing a Catholic or an African American president, he said in a statement. People should be elected to office based on their ideas, not their religion or the color of their skin. Ha! I said it first. See, before even reading this, I said it first. It's not about your religion and it's not about your race. It's about your ideals, about the content of your character. So why this race and religion stuff is even coming up, I don't know. But I'll tell you this, we should not have any fears because of our protections through the Constitution. It's a pretty important thing. Listen to this. U.S. Republican Representative Keith Ellison, who was the first Muslim elected to Congress, accused both Carson and Trump of fear-mongering. For Ben Carson, Donald Trump, for any other Republican politician. Why is it Republican? Why can't they say any other politician? Any, to suggest that someone of any faith is unfit for office is out of touch and with out of touch with who we are as a people, the Democrat from Minnesota said. Now, it's not surprising that a Democrat said that, but I will say that it is a little surprising that he had to put Republican on it. It should be any politician. I'm sick and tired of these lines, people. I'm sick and tired of following party lines. Why don't we just run as people, as politicians, which is kind of crazy, and start judging on the content of the character, not what party they run for or what they do. It's unimaginable that the leading GOP presidential candidates are resorting to fear mongering to benefit their campaigns, and every American should be disturbed that these national figures are engaging and tolerating blatant acts of religious bigotry, he said with a statement issued on Sunday. Now, here's the thing. Is this really racial or religious bigotry? Maybe. I would tend to look at it more of I agree with what they're saying because how do I want to put this? They are correct about the Muslim faith. They are undoubtedly correct about the Muslim faith. But what are you going to do? If you could get a person in there that is a Muslim that can then separate those things, you have to remember it is separated. You know what? Put them in there. I don't care. Because the truth to be told, it's not about the religion, it's about the ideals. And so if you can get somebody in there with different ideals, even though he's Muslim, I think that he could run the country. Now, there are some that say our president right now is Muslim. He's a closet Muslim or whatever. I'm not going to go there. But, the fact is it doesn't matter what his religion is. It matters what his policies and procedures and how he sees foreign policy and that kind of stuff. So I am not surprised that this came up because of the world events that are going on, but, it is what it is. So that's what I had to talk about today. Football. And then Ben Carson. Really surprised me to come out of Ben. It doesn't surprise me that it would come out of Trump. But Dr. Carson's responses, it really surprised me. Now, what would you guys like to talk about? Any questions that may be out there, go ahead and get in on the comments. Type them in, and I will talk about it. Let me pull up Skype here. If you search HNR on Skype, you should be able to find us. There we go. So, Hondo and Rain. That would be us. Give me a call on Skype. Hondo and Rain. Let's see if I can find the content of information. You should be able to search us and call us. Skype number. Get a Skype number. Let's friend, family, colleagues. Call this number from mobile. No, I don't want to do that. Features. No. Well, anyways, I'll get Skype up. Anyways, yeah, check out Hondo and Rain on Skype. We're going to get that better set up so that you all can come in and make phone calls and be part of this here live show. Alrighty. We are running out of time here, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to keep this fairly short. I don't want a big old long coffee with Hondo. I know I did a lot of talking, but it was a lot of fun. So I do appreciate you getting on the show with us and talking with us. And I do appreciate everybody out there. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and call it a quits here soon. Alrighty. We're going to close this down a little. Move this over here so I can see better. But we're going to start doing this, I think, daily. We'll probably do it a little bit earlier in the day. But yeah. I appreciate y'all for being here. Oh, it's not going to let me go any smaller than that. That's nuts. I hope you enjoyed our program. I'll see you back here tomorrow. We're just going to try and cover the headlines. Maybe a little. Have a little talk. Be sure to come prepared with your questions next time. Thank you for watching. This Coffee with Hondo has been brought to you by coffee. Oh, it's so good. Hondo's coffee of choice. It's coffee. Doesn't matter who makes it as long as it's coffee. And it is also his favorite caffeine delivery system. So thank you for watching, everybody. We're out of time. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. This has been Hondo. What are you going to do?